What's going on, everybody? Stock Picks by Tim back again. Sorry I was MIA for a couple of days. Typically the weekends are just really busy for me. They're my longest work days, but I'm back again and I want to just talk about a couple stocks that I see great value in. And let's get it. Alright, now first off, I have on the chart here INDI Semiconductor, or INDI, and this is my highest semiconductor pick. So right now we are down here under $7, and we do have a nice bit of a W here and a trend up. So I think we hit our bottom, at least on the day, and we're going to work our way higher. Now, that's just short term, but long term, I do expect this to come back over 10. However, on the midterm, if stocks just continue down, if we have a rough market, if we do in fact get into a recession, I could definitely see INDI trading lower, but at its current price, I see great value in it. We've got a great executive team from the likes of Skyworks, Cirrus Logic, Broadcom. I mean, I'm telling you, they are experienced. They know their stuff. And they actually sold Axiom to Skyworks in the early 2000s, made a huge chunk of change on that. So the executive team with INDI was involved in Axiom. And to me, that just gives me more certainty that they know what they're doing. And also, when you look at INDI Semiconductor in terms of the revenue is steadily increasing. That's what we want to see with a growth company like INDI. Alright, now next up I want to talk about Vlta, or VLTA, and this is an EV charging play. Now their earnings is going to be coming out here on Monday, March 21. This is confirmed, so look out for that date. It is coming very soon. Now when you look at it on the chart, you'll see the RSI is bouncing, the MACD is curling upwards, although the candles are bearish. But we are slowly coming up over. We are slowly coming up over the 21, 13, and 8 EMA. But right now it is bearish, the MACD looking good, RSI pretty neutral, but it was coming up. Now this one is near its low. It hit a low of about 360. We are a little higher from there, but it is still downtrending. Keep an eye on it. I absolutely love Vlta for the long term. And I do expect to see, the teens again on this one. Maybe not this year, but over, the coming year and a half, 2 years. So with Vlta, remember to mark down that date on your calendar, March 21. And I will likely be giving you guys a video, just the key points of their earnings, coming up soon. So make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for that. And make sure you check out the links below for some free crypto and stocks. And as a side note really quick, this is one that I've been adding in preference over Chargepoint. Chargepoint has run up quite a bit from its previous low of about $13, $12. And now, Chargepoint's sitting at like 15, 16. Vlta, I definitely see the better opportunity in terms of short term. I see Vlta at a better place right now. And I have been preferring to add on my Vlta position. I am also pretty built out on Chargepoint, so that's another reason I'm kind of just holding off on Chargepoint. Although I do see Chargepoint as worthy of an average in anything under 20. I do see, if you're looking at it long term, I think it's worthy of averaging in all the way up to $20. And now as for Vlta, I think it's worthy of averaging in probably all the way up to 8, but I'm going in heavier at this level. I do see this coming up back towards 8, towards 10, as we get that EV hype again. And next up, one of my all-time favorites, CleanSpark, a company that is now profitable and looking good on the technicals, actually. We hit this base here, seemed like a support level right around this level. Right around this $9 level, we did hit a base and we are bouncing. We are now looking bullish on the candles. The RSI is coming up, although coming towards overbought, and the MACD is pointing up, still looking bullish. We are looking good on CleanSpark. And I have been adding this when it dips under 10. And like I've said before, I don't see this coming under 10 for much longer. So take advantage of it. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor, but personally, I'm taking advantage of CleanSpark at this current price. And we actually just had some recent news with CleanSpark that they're doing a grand opening in Henderson, Nevada at 2370 Corporate Circle 160. These are office buildings, and I'll show you that in a second. But this is good news. They are expanding their offices and also expanding over through to the West Coast. So we might see more solar panel installations, and we will likely see more positive developments in terms of their microgrid side of things. So that's great news to see here. Now be aware, guys, there are currently a few locations in Nevada already, so they're just adding more. So they already do have a spot in Carlsbad, California, a spot in Woods Cross, Utah, Las Vegas. So there's going to be an additional site in Nevada. And these are just office areas. This has nothing to do with the Bitcoin, this is just taking calls, that kind of thing. But just, a side note for you. And here's the office, actually. It is a office building. They're not going to likely do mining here. It's likely just going to be for calls, setting up appointments probably, that kind of thing. Just, typical corporate kind of stuff. But it's a nice building here in Nevada, and that may mean that they're going to be expanding throughout the West Coast more. So we are mostly located on the East Coast, with Georgia. But I think that's great to see CleanSpark expanding in more areas. And typically when I bring up CleanSpark, I want to talk about Bitcoin as well really quick. We did dip really hard here right at the low 37,000 level, but it was quick to recover. It was very quick to recover. Now we're just kind of hovering around this zone. I mean, you can basically draw a line here, and it seems to be a support level. We have broken it and quickly came back, broken it, quickly came back, but every time we kind of, this area, we try to use it as a support, runs up a little bit, comes back down, tests it as a support. Bitcoin has been trading extremely sideways, and you know, I think pretty soon we're going to see a movement to either direction. It could go either way, to be honest. Keep in mind, you know, the halving is coming about 2 years from now, so it's definitely possible that with Bitcoin we see, you know, we see a little stagnation, if not a decline, over the next couple months to a year. But overall, over the next 2 years, I do expect Bitcoin to run up quite a bit. And this all ties into supply and demand. Once the halving happens, it means that the difficulty to mine Bitcoin is going to increase, meaning there will be less Bitcoin mined. So I wouldn't expect the demand for Bitcoin to decrease. Therefore, with demand either staying the same or increasing, and also the supply going down with a halving event, that's going to cause a supply crunch. I am confident over the mid to long term that Bitcoin is going to do great, but short term, it's anybody's guess. I mean, over the next year, we can definitely see this come down to the low 30s. Finally, I wanted to get into Matterport, or Mttr. Now, looking at it in the short term, it does look a bit bearish. I don't like this chart setup at all. If you look here, we look like we could potentially have a head and shoulders, so keep an eye on this right here. If we see a bit of a pop and then a drop, we will have that head and shoulders, and we will likely come down further. Now, take note though that there is a support right here at about 650. That was our lowest point that we've hit as of recently. Now, this one we gapped down on earnings. We hit a base of about 575. We bounced from there, and now we are trying to hold support here at the 670 level. We may fall down a little bit more to 660 and test that. We did bounce from there. We wicked down right here and bounced. So we'll see where it goes. I am a bit bearish short term on Matterport. I'm continuing to average in Matterport. I'm not too worried on the day to day, but you could definitely play this short term and swing it either direction. But I have been adding Matterport at this price, just kind of averaging in. I mean, like I said a few months ago when this was almost $20, I'm going to take my time and average in on this one. And I'm glad I've been doing that, and glad I didn't just, you know, go too heavy earlier, because this has been just downtrending over the last couple months. And, you know, we've had so many headwinds. We had our earnings come out. The EPS and revenue wasn't all that bad, but the future guidance, you know, there was a drop in future guidance from what I remember. So, you know, that wasn't good. We also had the share lockup expiration, which was a headwind. That's why, you know, I was emphasizing to just average in throughout. And it depends on how much risk you want to take. You want to be as patient as possible and just slowly add, typically. That is almost always tends to be the best thing to do in my experience. You know, sometimes when you see something, you just want to add in so heavy and you think, oh, this is the best price. You know, you can't beat this price. And then next week it's even lower. And you're like, why did I spend all my money? You know, so right now I just can't stress enough that it's great to keep some cash on the side. I know it's easier said than done. I struggle with it myself. I see some deals and I just continue to go in thinking that this is the best of the best, and then it just goes down farther. So that just goes to tell you, you know, take your time on this. It's better to be patient and miss out on a run up than to be, you know, too hasty and you're bag holding at too heavy of a bag and not setting stop losses and that kind of thing. So that's basically just, you know, a side note I wanted to mention to you guys. Try to keep that cash on the side. It's very important, especially during the next 6 months to a year. I think this is definitely going to be a rough market, but just remember, these small caps have been kicked down so far. I mean, Matterport was in the 30s. CleanSpark was in the 30s. That doesn't necessarily mean that they deserve that price. But when you think about how much they have dropped and the current market cap, I mean, look at Matterport. We're at a $1.5 billion market cap. And the potential for this stock in the metaverse is massive. So that's just one thing to consider, you know. I mean, can these come down further? Sure. You could definitely see Matterport coming down to a $1 billion market cap, being that their revenue is kind of flat right now. I mean, the last 4 quarters, the revenue has just been flat, anywhere from 20 to about $30 million, you know, not a steady incline either. So there's definitely some risk in Matterport. And like I said, short term, the chart does look bearish. We aren't able to hold over the 3 EMAs. You know, the RSI is pointing down, although somewhat neutral. But that's basically my thoughts here, what I've been doing lately, what I've been buying, what I've been watching for. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you on the next one.